In this modern age, every creator really walks a warrior's path. It's a quest, not of swords and sorcery, but of light and of sound. The battlefield, that's your timeline. And the enemy is this great beast, a video kaiju, born from pure chaos and all those missed opportunities. But here's the thing, there are sacred arts, ancient techniques forged in brand new technology that can absolutely tame this beast. So, how do you do it? How do you face this kaiju and become its master? Well, that's the challenge laid before every single one of us. Today, we're going to open the scroll and reveal that path to victory. The techniques that turn those raw, chaotic moments into legendary stories. This, right here, is the way of the creator. All right, so the very first step in any great quest is to know your adversary. And I'm telling you, these aren't just little frustrations. They are elemental monsters, and each one has a name, and more importantly, a weakness. To defeat them, you've got to understand their nature first. And let's be honest, we have all battled these foes. You know him, the Blur Beast, whose chaotic touch turns what should be an epic action shot into an unwatchable mess. Or the Howling Banshee, that ghost of one that just shrieks over every word you say. There's the Gaze of Limitation, which traps your story in one single boring perspective. The Fleeting Moment, oh, that one hurts. Lost forever just because your gear was too slow. And of course, the dreaded Curse of Short Breath, that draining of power at the absolute most critical time. Okay, so a warrior's first lesson is always balance. Before you can even think about the strike, there has to be a foundation. In our art, this is what we call the discipline of the unshakable stance. It's the mastery of smooth, intentional movement that just commands the viewer's eye. Just look at this. On the left, you see the work of the untamed hand, totally marred by the chaotic energy of the Blur Beast. It's jarring, it's distracting, right? But on the right, that is gimbal discipline. The movement is fluid, it's precise, it's cinematic. This is control. And this is the first fundamental technique for taming all that visual chaos. And the tools for this discipline, things like the DJI Osmo 8 and the Homai Steady M7, they're basically marvels of modern sorcery. Their 3-axis stabilization, it acts as your perfect center of balance. But their real power, oh man, it lies in their intelligence. The AI subject tracking lets the gimbal just lock onto a target, following them with this inhuman precision. And with a battery life of up to 12 hours, you know your stance is not going to falter. So, with a steady hand, you now have to master a clear voice. Think about it. A warrior's shout has to cut through the noise of battle. Your voice, your story, has to command attention and completely silence that howling banshee. And we achieve this through the art of intelligent noise canceling. Tools like the DJI Mic Mini have this incredible power. With just a single press, they can tell the difference between your voice and the distracting roar of the world around you, making sure every single word of your story is heard with perfect clarity.
But look, even the most disciplined creator faces unpredictable forces. And for this, there's a secret technique: the safety track. What this does is it records a second identical audio scroll, but at a lower volume, specifically -6 decibels. So if a sudden shout or a huge gust of wind overwhelms your main recording, this backup track makes sure your voice is never truly lost. It's a lifesaver.
Every warrior has a favorite weapon, right? For the modern creator, that weapon is the action camera. But a single blade is just not enough. The ultimate weapon has to be adaptable, its form changing to meet any challenge you face on your quest. And that brings us to the GoPro Hero 13. This thing is not just a camera, it's a modular weapons system. Its real strength isn't in the blade itself, but in its ability to be reforged, right there on the fly, to become whatever the moment demands. Just watch how quickly the blade can change its form. A simple twist, an alignment, and a lock. Boom! In seconds, the weapon is transformed. And the system is so intelligent, the camera body instantly auto-detects the new lens, adjusting its senses without you having to do a single thing. I mean, it's pretty much magic. And each lens, it grants you a new power of perception. The ultra-wide lens, it expands your gaze to this staggering 177 degrees, letting you capture the entire battlefield. The macro lens, with that awesome manual focus ring, lets you peer into all the tiny, intricate details of the world. And the anamorphic lens, well, it reshapes light itself, creating those cinematic flares and epic widescreen vistas you see in Legends. And right here, this is the power to bend time itself. At 400 frames per second, a fleeting moment, like a splash of water or an explosion of sand, gets stretched into this dramatic, slow-motion ballet. You can now literally see and share the world that exists between the ticks of a clock. It's incredible.
Now, having a powerful weapon is totally useless without the strategy to deploy it. To really master the field, you have to be able to position your eye anywhere, instantly. You've got to learn to strike from those unexpected angles to defeat the gaze of limitation.
The foundation of this art is the raw power of the magnet. I mean, modern mounts forged with these N52 rare earth magnets, they have a grip that is almost supernatural. As the old scrolls say, it really takes significant forces to pull these apart. That's the kind of reliability you absolutely need when the action gets intense.
This strength is what enables the technique of the instantaneous strike, the magnetic quick release. With systems from SnapMount and Telesin, you can move your camera from your helmet to your handlebars to a tripod all in the blink of an eye. This is how you conquered the fleeting moment, by capturing every single angle of the story as it's unfolding.
Of course, all of these techniques require stamina. So, to defeat the curse of short breath, you have to master unending endurance. A specialized water-resistant charging door lets you channel continuous power straight to your camera, even in the rain or snow. Your quest no longer ends just because the battery dies.
So, you've mastered form, voice, and position. Now we're going to unveil the final technique. This is a power that moves beyond just capturing what the eye can see, and into the realm of capturing what the heart remembers. This is a whole new dimension of storytelling.
We call this art form spatial video, and it's a transcendent technique that uses depth data to record not just a flat image, but the very soul of a scene. When you view these on a device like the Apple Vision Pro, they're not really videos anymore. They're memories, given form and depth, ready for you to step right back into.
Now, to master this, you need to follow 4 tenets. First, seek ample light, because light is what reveals texture and form. Second, you have to weave depth into your frame by placing subjects both near and far. Third, always focus on a central subject to give the memory a really strong anchor. And finally, explore new angles to really enhance that feeling of 3-dimensional space. And as a final flourish, the ancient art of the scribe has returned. That's right, GPS is back in the GoPro. This allows you to inscribe the data of your journey, your path, your speed, your G-force directly onto the video scroll. Your story is now enriched with the hard data of your heroic deeds. So, the scroll has been opened. The way of the creator is now clear. The stances, the weapons, the secret arts, they are all yours to command. That video kaiju, it can be tamed. So the only question that remains is, what legends will you create? What stories will you now dare to tell?